Hi folks, today we're going to have a look at how to draw the nose, but first of all I'd like to go over a few bad examples of nose drawings. So let's have a look. Some poor examples of nose drawings might be a single line curves like that. That might be somebody's type of nose, or something that's a wee bit more progressive, where we have the wings of the nose or the sides of the nose, something like that. Or somebody might go further still with the side of the nose, maybe pointing it down a little bit, bringing it back up, and that would be a nose. Though I have seen many people do this type of nose, which is a bit impossible since the person is looking straight forward but the nose is to the side. Or there are some people who have drawn noses like this, down, back up. Or another version of that is down, a bit more shape to this example here. But again, you've got these lines that extend and attach the bottom of the nose to the eyebrow. Or I have seen some people acknowledge that the nostrils are separate and draw them like that. And then they have the side of the nose here and here, which is a fairly good start to your drawing. But then a line starts to appear on either side because they don't know what to do with the space here and here. Another thing I've seen happen is when a person draws a nostrils. There's one here, maybe the sides of the nose coming around like that, and then again lines up the side of the nose, which don't quite work either. I have seen some people drawing circles like that, and then maybe a circle here and here, but then these circles are drawn heavier, and then the lines come up the sides of the nose inevitably, and then instead of this becoming the nostril, this becomes the nostril. So the nose looks something like that. Another typical thing I've seen is, people start off well with the separate nostrils. Then they might think, oh well, there's a bit of skin here that attaches the two nostrils. And then we've got another bit of skin coming round, which again isn't too bad for the start of a drawing. But it always has to have these lines coming up and around. So either the drawing is going to be very cartoon to look at, or it's just anatomically wrong. So these are poor or bad examples of nose drawings. Before we start to draw the nose properly, there are a few things I think that are worth taking into consideration. For example, the structure of the nose. Let's go with, just focus that camera up. Let's go with the front of the nose. So say there is the bridge of the nose here. It's a bridge. And we've got an eye socket here and here on the skull. So that would be your cheekbone, and the nose, a kind of triangular shape. Within that shape we have cartilage, and the cartilage is usually split up into other shapes, a bit like this. So we have a piece of cartilage up here called the upper cartilage. Then we have lower cartilage, which comes right down. Let's see, because this might vary in shape, so again it comes around here and up. This is starting to look like some kind of beak or a bird. And then we have the wings, nose wings that come around here. Sorry, they're joined onto the nose wings. And then we would have our nostril in here, one in here, there's skin here. So this is our nose structure. From the front. And this from the side view, you'd have your bridge up here. That section here, the upper cartilage, would come down, around, and then you have the lower cartilage, which covers this very edge, the tip of the nose, curves round, and then you have your septum here. And the nostrils fit in here, and you have the wing of the nose curving round like that. Okay, so they're very simple, sort of straight on views, no 3/4 turn. So we'll start with that. The other thing that I think is worth considering, because everybody's got such a different shape of nose, you may want to consider, especially when you're applying tone, the spherical shape and a cylinder shape to help build up the form. Within that spherical shape though, we have the tip of the nose, the nostrils, and then two other spherical shapes which form the wings. Then we have to remember that we have other shapes in here as well that help to blend the nose into the face and to avoid those sharp lines down either side of the nose. Right, let's try and draw this. So let's start off with a simple circle. Nice round circle there. And that's going to be the end of the nose. So that's going to include the tip of the nose. So let's draw a line through the circle, and that will be the tip of the nose. Then we have either side of the nose. So we're going to draw lines vertically down, try and keep them symmetrical. One on this side and one on that side. And that's going to be the side of the nose here, the very edges of the nose. Okay, and then from here we're going to have this top plane of the nose here and here. And these are guidelines, so keep them light. And then we're going to draw in an area. Let's just put a little oval shape here for the nostril here. And then remember there's a big gap between the nostrils, they're not tied together. And then another nostril here. Okay, so we have the gap between the nostrils. Now, let's make that nostril smaller. These nostrils don't quite match because our faces are not completely symmetrical, usually. So we've got two nostrils there, I'm making that pretty dark. A gap, and then under the gap, there's probably a shadow here, so let's just put a line. You watch out for these gaps because you don't want that to attach to the nostrils. Keep that lower down. And then what we're going to do is just put a very light line going up to the sides of the nose. I'm going to bring that nostril out a bit. side of the nose is coming down like that, and then the same on the other side. So that's the corner, and that's going to come down here. So we'll have a piece of skin in the middle here. We've got the tip of the nose just along that line. Then we might have the nose, depending on the shape of your nose. All noses are different, and that's why I think it makes it difficult for you to draw a nose. So we'll just put some lines here, and then we'll extend those lines out a bit to suggest that that's the skin of the cheek. And remember that up here we should have the eye, the cheekbone, and then slightly further up we'll have the eyebrow. So we have the eye socket in here somewhere, here. Alright, so the eye's going to fit in about there. Just to give us some idea about the positioning and placement of all the features. So very, very rough sketch. Now what we need to do is rub out a lot of these guidelines. So I'm just going to lighten them up now. Right, we've got rid of some of those guidelines. What I'm going to take is a very dark pencil now, and I'm going to just do that top area of the nostril, which doesn't get any light. What you want to avoid is drawing nice big circles for the nostrils. You don't have big nostrils like that. Like, most of it is always just the line, you know, on either side. So we'll come back in here and here. Just get that very, very dark shadow in, and then we can just put a light line here and here to tidy those edges up. And I'm going to take my 4B pencil, which is a soft pencil, but you can use an HB, and just start to build up the tones. Now, remember I said this is the top of the nose and this is the under part of the nose. So in actual fact, the under part of the nose should all have a slight tone. So you could start by just very lightly adding your first layer of tone on that underside. So around the nostrils, notice I'm leaving a little bit of light here, just where the light might catch. Under here. Now you might be looking at a nose that has light coming from the left or light coming from the right. This one, I'm just going to have the light sort of straight on. So I'm just applying a wee bit more under here, between. A bit more inside there. Now we have Cupid's bow under the nose. Here, might be a little bit shadier here and here on the either side of the nose. And then of course we should build up the tones very lightly to begin with, up towards eye and then down here as well. So we can start to see the different planes appear on the nose. You've got the top surface either side and then underneath. I'm just going to lighten that up a bit. Right, so I'm going to take a layer pencil now and just add a wee bit of tone going over the bridge, over the top of the nose. Just quite light. A bit to the side. That area, the eye socket's sometimes quite dark in there depending on how much sleep you've had. This area here. Okay, you can see the tone is sort of jumping a bit, not sitting quite right. So the darkest tones are in and around here. There's still some tone on the top here of the nose, but we need it to make that super light. We've got some light reflection in and around different areas of the nose as well, and maybe a little bit of a shadow here. So I'm going to try and smooth this out a little bit. You could use a rolled up piece of paper if you don't have a smudger. My smudger's quite well used and it's a bit grubby. I'm just trying to smooth these out. too much tone on the top of the nose. Right area here. Just get some subtle tones in. I do like using the smudger for very slight changes in tone. What I don't like is smudginess that it creates. This is too smudgy. Still, that's our first layer of tone. Some areas of this need lightened and some need darkened. So you could take a piece of blue tack or a rubber. I think blue tack is the best, really. And just lift off the top here. So you want a very, very light tone along the bridge and the top surface of the nose. Here we have 2H pencil. Yeah, it's very gently going over that surface there. I want to get rid of that smudginess. Trying to make the nose look a bit more cylindrical because it's rounded here in this nose. Whereas my own nose, I think, is quite flat across the top. I'm just blending some of the tones, some of the more subtle tones together. I think we need to take a bit more off here. Here. Right. So back to my HB pencil now. Get into some of these darker tones. It really is just about balancing out the tones to make them look. I think I've got some form in this. Back to my 2H pencil. I'll put a little bit more tone over the top here. HB. I'm gradually trying to build up the darker tones. Using a very dark pencil now. That's because the more tone I apply, the more the light catches on the camera and I don't think it's very extreme. Oops, that's a bit too dark. Remember the highlight on the top of the nose. Just bring that light down to here. 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 Right, I'm just going to carry on working on this. I'm refining these tones to try and make this look a bit more realistic.
you.